Okay. Well, this is Lakshmi Om with the Flourish Center for Somatic Healing. And today we have the pleasure of spending some time with Dr. Sinead Corrigan, who is a practitioner here at Flourish. She's an acupuncturist and teaches Qigong. So we just have a little time to talk about so people can get to know you and especially if they don't know what acupuncture or Qigong is, it's going to be really helpful. So I'm so glad that we have this time together and people get to know you a little bit more.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of the
Yeah.
practice.
Yes, we're very lucky to have you. I love acupuncture myself, so it's really nice to have you here. And I love Qigong. I learned to do it even in massage school like
Mm.
26 years ago. So I'm curious what drew you to acupuncture, how you came upon this path.
There are a few things that kind of accidentally led me to acupuncture. The first was probably taking Chinese language in school, in university.
Oh, wow.
And then I did a study abroad program in China focused on Chinese medicine because at the time I was focused on Western medicine, like pre med in
Mhm.
undergrad. And when I experienced Chinese medicine in China, I had never felt better in my body since childhood. I came back and I felt better than good. And I was like, what is this? So that sparked the curiosity. And then my yoga and Qigong practice was probably the third factor. I was a very intense athlete, like college track athlete and gymnast, not in college, but prior.
Mhm.
And this had driven me to such extremes with my health. So the Qigong and yoga practice that I had adopted at the beginning of my undergraduate studies really also when I went to China and practiced more Qigong and Tai Chi there, really started to change my view of the human body. And when I started to experience this concept that they call energy, I wanted to know more. I wanted to know everything that I could.
Mhm.
And so Chinese medicine was kind of a natural outpouring from wanting to understand the experiences, you could say spiritual experiences or just deep relaxation experiences I was having in the yoga and Qigong practices.
Awesome. So you mentioned the word energy. So how do they work? How does acupuncture and qigong work? Or if you need to talk about them separately, you can.
Yeah, I can start with acupuncture. So, from a Western point of view, we are creating micro wounds, and that does a few things physiologically. One is it triggers a immune response. It also can trigger relaxation response and affect the actual nerves at times, but sometimes it's indirect and it has a calming effect on the nervous system, depending on the points that you use. And endocrine and the nervous system, endocrine system and nervous system are very linked, so it often has endocrine effects as well.
Mhm.
And then from Chinese medicine point of view, acupuncture is moving qi or energy or vitality. And it's doing this through not only affecting the tissue, which I'll go back in one more Western concept. When you put a needle in a place in the body non-locally, it has an effect deeper in the body because of fascia, connective tissue. That's the main scientific research on acupuncture is fascia or connective tissue,
Mhm.
explaining how if you relax one part of the connective tissue, it can actually impact further inside the body.
Mhm.
So the Chinese medicine view would be that the body is a microcosm of nature, and there are all kinds of fractal patterns within the body. And when you release one point in one area of the body, it actually can impact everywhere at once. So if you find where the chi blockage is,
Mhm.
blockages can be physical, mental, emotional. You release that blockage, and then the vitality, the chi, the energy can flow once again.
So, since we focus a lot on trauma here and various kinds of trauma, like developmental trauma, early childhood trauma, accidents, all different kinds of trauma, even generational trauma. How does acupuncture help with that? Because I'm hearing like opening up blockages, and I know that that's how trauma stored in the body feels like a blockage.
Mm.
So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, there is a profound connection. And I should have mentioned this when answered why am I interested in acupuncture, because it was the first form of medicine I had found that really, from the get go, acknowledged that emotions and physical health are completely
Yeah,
connected.
yeah.
So when we think of a blockage in the body emotionally, we're thinking like similar to the way a somatic session would be guided. What do you feel? What are the actual physical sensations you're experiencing in this moment? And then Chinese medicine has these very specific patterns that deal with exactly the symptom that you're describing. For example, if it's a flutter in the heart, we work with the heart meridian. If it is a feeling of frustration and irritability, we work with the liver meridian. If it is a deep worry and a knotting in the stomach, we work with the stomach meridian and the spleen meridian. So there are literally lines in the body that we go to and release tension from just by someone describing their emotional symptoms. And the emotional symptoms, as you know, go along with a lot of physical and physiological symptoms. So that's one way to describe it. But then there's a second, deeper system that's
Mhm.
used, a few different systems used to treat trauma. One is the ear.
Yeah.
So I do ear points in almost every single session if someone is open to it. And the ear is so famous for treating, especially PTSD, but really all emotional anxiety, stress, anything like that, that the government will fund it for veterans. The ear acupuncture. We had a community ear acupuncture clinic in San Francisco where I did my training, and people found this so effective. They came every single day for years and years, every week that we had the clinic. So there's one system, the ear acupuncture, that works specifically for trauma and emotional release. But
Mhm.
then there is the 8 extraordinary meridians. You
Mm.
and I chatted about this a little
Yeah.
bit. And this is a profound, you could say, style of acupuncture that works on ancestral trauma. And these are not the main meridians that we talked about, like with the organs and
Mhm.
their relationship with the organs, but more, they call them 7 year cycles. So 7 year cycles, and they have to do with big events that have happened to us or our ancestors, and we experience these patterns in longer frames of time. So something might not be up for you, then all of a sudden it's up again, and Chinese medicine has a way of describing why things come and go. And so we
Cool.
use points on these meridians for very specific types of trauma, things that, like, if something came at you versus if you had internal self-hate, all of these things, we use different pairs of external meridians to treat.
Mhm. That's interesting. And in developmental trauma, we talk about working with the ear too, and how it
Mhm.
literally looks like a little embryo,
Mhm.
right? And work in stimulating the vagus nerve and working in the ear. Some somatic therapy is really good for
Mm.
that sort of amorphous time of early life when we're forming, or and we don't have a specific identity, and our ancestral patterns can be very visible or felt, because of how blended we are with our mother. So it's really interesting crossover.
Wow, it's also really interesting because you made me remember that the ear, every single point along the ear, each ear is different, and each one shows points in your childhood where you could have had a traumatic event. This is from Chinese
Really?
face reading. This is not a part of, it's like additional
Mhm.
special training. And I'm not 100% versed, but I do know that each part of the ear corresponds to trauma from a different year of childhood. So very interesting connection there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like iridology too. Your
Yeah.
iris shows when you've had injuries or illness, or yeah. Oh, this is so cool. So, what does a session look like? What does an acupuncture session look like?
Yeah, so first we chat. We
Mm.
have a little 30-minute call. We can take a little more time if we need, just to understand your health history, mental, physical, and emotional. But I do tailor the questions towards what is your body experiencing, what are your physical symptoms. And we focus on, or I'll ask you, what are your goals? I set an expectation, like it's going to take this many weeks, just like therapy. It doesn't happen all at once. It's a journey together.
Mhm.
But of course, if you're experiencing pain, sometimes right away you can experience relief.
Yeah.
And then when you come in person, Chinese medicine has a few ways of diagnosing the body. One is taking the pulse at three places in the wrist, and they reflect different organs in the body, and also looking at the tongue.
Mm.
So I'll look at someone's tongue, I'll take their pulse, and I've already asked all the health history questions to just make sure that the treatment is safe.
Mhm.
And then you'll rest for anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes, depending on how long we chat for. And you basically just take a nice long nap while you have the points. And you can stop early if you want. You can have less needles, more needles. It's very
Mhm.
tailored to each person. And Yeah, I would say every session with which points we use will look different depending on the condition we're treating, but that's the basics. And I will sometimes use cupping if anyone's not familiar with that. It's the suction cups that relieve muscle pain and help circulation and boost immunity.
Mhm.
Um, and herbal medicine is also a part of the treatments if people desire. It's not required, but is something that I offer for anyone wanting herbal medicine or dietary and supplement
Mhm.
recommendations in addition to their physical treatment.
So it's incredibly holistic.
Very holistic. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it can be preventative as well. You don't need to be sick to come to acupuncture, like I mentioned when I went to
Yeah.
China. I was like, wow, this, I felt good, but I feel really good now.
That's I definitely I don't, we've traded sessions and I my body doesn't need much.
Hmm.
It's very I can tell like, okay, I'm done, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
even having acupuncture with a friend one time and she has a little bell and I was out and my arm just lifted up and hit the bell. Like I startled myself out of sleep and my body was like, I'm done.
That's so
So that's really funny. So um how does someone know that, acupuncture can help them or what is it helpful for?
honestly, the answer is pretty much everything unless you've heard. However, I can name some of the things that I mean, I will treat anything, but some of the things that I really love to treat are fertility issues, hormone imbalance, women's health, reproductive health in general, digestive issues, problems with sleep,
Mhm.
of course, emotional trauma that can be very, very supportive, and finding grounding again, and reconnecting to the body, especially with dissociation. Acupuncture is incredible for, we call it in Chinese medicine, bringing the spirit back into the body.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then, of course, pain. It's
Mhm.
incredible for pain. Often people come as a last resort. However, even just soreness from working out, I would get acupuncture as a dancer. I would get it just to be able to continue to train and to recover from exercise. It can be used preventatively. So again, if you feel like, oh, the cold season is coming on, I want to boost my immune system, you can come in for that. Skin conditions. I really love treating cosmetic conditions and skin conditions, especially with herbs.
Mhm.
And I'm leaving a million and one things out, but those are just a few to name a few. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And, I'm curious about Qigong because I studied it in massage school
Mm.
and I loved it. And if you could talk about what a session like that with the Qigong session looks like and how it works. Because we're not, acupuncture using needles, Qigong, we're using movement.
Yes, I'm so grateful that we're offering qigong as well because yeah, the really magic of acupuncture is that it's going to teach you something about your body and you can start to do things differently. So qigong is even more so because it's a practice you can take with you and start to reprogram your mind, body, and heart. So qigong also starts with a 30-minute consultation, and this is to understand your current practice, your the things that you do and don't know so that I can just kind of start your practice at the appropriate level. Also, just to understand a little bit about the style of Qigong, because I practice with the lineage of the Universal Healing Tao.
Mhm.
But there are thousands of styles of qigong, so please definitely check it out, explore, and I'll have a YouTube video available on Lakshmi's on-demand platform, so you can get a preview there just to see if it's the type of qigong you're interested in. But I'll kind of explain that in the introductory call as well, and just understand what your goals are. Are you trying to get out of pain? Are you looking for a spiritual practice, a self-healing practice? Do you want to just have more embodiment in general? Those are some of the reasons why someone might start a Qigong practice. And then in a session, based on what we've covered in the 30-minute consult, I do 30 minutes with someone unless someone really wants an hour, but it is definitely a chance to go into what my meditation teacher would call a special state. It's a bit of a trance state at times. It can be used to get into that flow state, more creative, more connected to your spirit, again, you could say, or it can be very, very grounding. So sometimes in a session, we will just focus on grounding. We'll just focus on tapping and shaking and stomping, and or it can be just focused on emotional release. So there's something called the 6 healing sounds in Qigong. That's a big part of this lineage in the first formulas, and it's releasing emotion from the body with breath, movement, and visualization.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's how the
I want to
YouTube.
do that.
Yeah, I can share that video. It's on my
Yeah.
YouTube. It's called the 6 healing sounds.
Mhm.
So we will share that one. So yeah, the session can be extraordinarily different. It can be done seated, standing, lying down. If you're very injured or very tired, you can definitely do Qigong lying down internal. It's called Neidan or
Mhm.
Neigong, internal alchemy. And it's all visualization and breath. And yeah, you definitely do not need any level of fitness to perform Qigong.
Oh, that's amazing. I so want to, we have to do a session soon.
Let's do that. Let's do that for a trade too. I would love
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. That's really cool. Because I didn't get that piece
Mhm.
in when I learned it. It's just more
Yeah.
the movements and
Yeah.
something about elements and metal and wood and it's probably maybe a different lineage
Oh
than
no, we talk about the elements for sure.
okay.
Yeah.
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 I love the elements. So um I guess, what can anybody come, like, do you have to have any experience?
No, no experience necessary. In fact, of course, if you've done yoga or other embodiment practices, sometimes that you pick up a little easier. But
Mhm.
my teacher would say that there are different types of people when it comes to feeling chi or feeling energy or even
Mhm.
meditating. And she would say there's like the dull type, which is kind of funny, a very Chinese name, where you don't really experience much, but you feel relaxed afterward.
Mhm.
Then there's like a highly sensitive type where you might see, hear, and feel chi, like you see
Mhm.
lights. Other people, it's like somewhere in the middle, like you experience some sensation in your body, but you feel very relaxed, but you're yeah. So there's all kinds of levels of and depths of the qigong experience, and you need zero meditation or movement background to do qigong. And because this is an Eastern tradition, they would say your practice sometimes comes from your cultivation in a past life. And again, you don't need to believe in past lives to do
Mhm.
Qigong, but the idea would be that even if you've never done anything like this before, you might pick it up like that for whatever reason.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm so excited and so thrilled to have you here, a part of Flourish. You bring a beautiful energy and so much wisdom and knowledge. And I'm so excited for our existing clients and new clients to get to experience work with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I can't wait for our trades. And and for more, look at our website, the Flourish Center somatic.com. And if you'd like to try something out, we'll have videos up that are part of the Flourish Basic membership. And really just give it a try. It's really beautiful work and you're gonna feel better. So
Definitely mind
Sinead,
body medicine.
that's right.
Mm.
Absolutely. Sinead, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
And as always, if you need anything, please reach out and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.